Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Wretched Wrench. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.
Skylark is in its fourth decade as one of the strongest Buick nameplates. In 1980, Skylark became the first of Buick's new generation front-wheel drive cars. Skylark's success results from its tradition of economy with style. For young growing families, Skylark offers a very practical car. For working families, Skylark's compact size makes it a very practical commuting and work car. And for older, traditional buyers who no longer need a big family car, Skylark offers an economical way to retain many of the Buick luxury features and options that they don't want to give up. In other words, Skylark is one of your most valuable marketing tools to bring in new members to the Buick family as well as to keep older ones. One final note. Every feature you're about to see is standard unless we tell you otherwise. Now let's watch a Skylark presentation aimed at one family of typical prospects.
Good afternoon, Mr. and Mrs. Reed. I'm delighted that you and the children dropped by the dealership. And I'm not surprised to see that you're interested in this 1985 Skylark Limited sedan. It's an ideal car for a family such as yours with two young children. In fact, there's even room for a third little Reed if one decides to come along. The Skylark has room to seat 5 comfortably. You've probably been hearing the same thing from other salespeople. Well, maybe those cars seat 5 people too, but they're not Buicks. And since this is your first trip to a Buick dealership, I'd like to tell you exactly what the Buick difference is. First of all, Buicks are a cut above much of the competition. Now, you don't have to take my word for that, because you'll soon see that there are standard features on this Skylark that come only as options on some of the other cars you may have been looking at. Second, people expect a lot from a Buick. Now, isn't that why you're here? People expect quality, great comfort, and a lot of convenience from a Buick. The Skylark is one of Buick's new generation of front-wheel drive cars. Front-wheel drive makes it possible to put a very roomy interior into this compact exterior. Now, when we look under the hood, I'll show you how that was done. But the result is this 5-passenger compact car that is very efficient and economical to operate. Now, of course, Buick improves its cars in various important ways every year. For example, this grille is new this year with this wider header molding. It's handsome. And this light chestnut color is one of the brand new colors for 1985. I think it's great looking, don't you? These tungsten halogen headlamps are very useful because they generate more than twice the candle power of the regular sealed beam units you're probably used to. That's a good example of Buick value because they are standard on this Skylark Limited. Let's look under the hood. I've already released the inside lock that acts as a theft deterrent. Now you can see how the engineers managed to package a 5-passenger car so efficiently. They turned the engine sideways and connected it to the front wheels. So the same wheels that steer the car now also move the car. Now that means there's no heavy drive shaft running all the way to the back of the car. So the car weighs less and there's more room inside for people. By the way, the 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine is standard on the Skylark. It has electronic fuel injection, which is another Buick value. It's highly fuel efficient and it gives you excellent performance, even with the whole family in the car. The engine is secured by 4 new design hydraulic engine mounts, which helps absorb vibrations. The standard transmission on this car is a 4-speed manual, but of course, this automatic transmission is available. This fine 2.8-liter V6 engine with 2-barrel carburetor is also available. There's also an optional high-output version of the V6. Let me point out some of the other Buick values. The under-hood light, the gas hood strut, which replace the usual prop rod and make it easier to raise and lower the hood. This Delco Freedom 2 Plus battery is standard, and it's maintenance-free. Another Buick extra value is standard power rack and pinion steering. As you'll see for yourselves, the Skylark steers so easily, it feels as though you're gliding. Let's move around to the side. There are a couple of things I want to show you. Steel-belted, radial-ply, black sidewall tires are standard, but we've got the optional white sidewalls on this Limited. Both types are designed for low rolling resistance, which contributes to added fuel efficiency. The tread wear is usually longer than on the fiberglass belted tires that many cars come equipped with. Power-assisted front disc brakes are also standard. On Buicks, Disc brakes have special low-drag calipers, which retract when you're not applying the brakes. This also adds to fuel efficiency. A wear indicator makes a chirping sound when it's time to replace the brake pads. Mrs. Reed, not having to worry about the brakes should make you feel good, since you'll probably be driving this car a lot during the week. Another Buick value on the Skylark is McPherson strut front suspension. It not only helps the famous Buick smooth ride, but it's another feature the engineers used to make the Skylark so roomy on the inside. You know, if you're going to spend your good money on a fine car like this, I'm sure you're going to want to keep it looking as good as it does right now. Well, let me show you a few things Buick has done to help make that happen. These wheel opening moldings and wide rocker moldings and belt reveal moldings are standard on the Skylark. They really help protect the car in these areas that get a lot of wear. Now this part, under and above the rocker moldings, is sprayed with plastisol before the paint and molding are applied. Plastisol is tough and helps resist chipping by stones. The rear appearance of the Skylark is new this year. New tail lights, new applique design here, and the license plate has been moved onto the bumper. When I open this trunk for you, you'll see another Skylark benefit. Just look at the size of this trunk. That's more than 14 cubic feet of cargo you can carry back here. Now that'll come in handy when you go packing up to go to Grandma's, won't it? And notice, here's another courtesy light which comes in handy when you're packing or unloading at night. This space-saving spare tire is lightweight and very easy to handle if you ever have to replace one of the regular tires temporarily. And its small size saves space back here too. The Skylark trunk is also carpeted, which helps protect whatever you carry back here and also contributes to sound deadening. Speaking of sound, the Skylark Limited comes standard with a special acoustic insulation package which helps keep out road noise. Now, notice, when I open this rear door, the courtesy light comes on. Now, you don't get that on every car, but it's a big help when you're getting the kids settled for a long drive home. Notice these color-coordinated seat belts. They're standard. Now, before we open the front door, notice this optional remote control mirror. It matches the color of the car. Now, let's open the front door and get in. And now you can really see what I mean about extra Buick values. There are lots of new things I'd like to point out to you. The new interior colors, new fabrics, and new sew patterns on these gorgeous notchback seats. Notice this luxurious loose pillow upholstery. It's standard on the Limited. Now, the cut pile carpeting is durable, which, believe me, is important to protect this beautiful car from your beautiful kids. There are courtesy lights in all the right places, on the instrument panel, ashtray, and glove box. An electronic tone sounds as a seatbelt reminder and as a warning if you leave the key in the ignition. Listen. So as you'll see, the Skylark is a pleasure to drive. Now, one reason is how well planned everything is. This multifunction lever places the controls you use most right at your fingertips. The turn signal, 2-speed wipers, washers, high-low headlight beam selection, and the optional cruise control. It has resume and acceleration features, and it's completely electronic, which lets you adjust your speed 1 mile an hour up or down. A Delco 2000 series AM radio, which you can delete for credit, is standard in Skylark, as is a fixed-mast antenna, which is preset for optimal reception. It flexes so you can go through a car wash. And if you're really into sound, there's a whole variety of first-class Delco sound systems available, all the way up to this. An electronically tuned AM-FM combination with a cassette player and clock. You can even boost sound performance with optional extended range speakers. I tell you what. I can see that you're really interested in this 1985 Skylark. And your kids have been so good. Why don't we take it out for a nice demonstration drive? And then when we get back, I'll show you all the available Delco sound systems, and you can take your pick.